If your dog has chronic diarrhea, you have probably spent hundreds of dollars at the vet, tried 5 different premium kibbles, and scrubbed your carpets raw. Yet the mess keeps coming back. Here's why. Your vet gave you a band-aid, but the pet food industry handed you the knife. Today, we are going to look at 5 specific types of dog food you will never feed again after understanding the science behind them. We are going to expose the hidden diarrhea triggers that keep your dog's gut inflamed, and I will give you the exact step-by-step protocol to fix it. Stay with me until the end, because the solution is not about randomly switching brands. It requires understanding a biological mechanism in the gut that is often completely missed. But first, we need to look at the foods causing the damage. Instead of naming specific brands, we are going to expose the 5 specific types of formulations that cause this vicious loop. If your dog has chronic soft stools, you are almost certainly feeding one of these. Number 1 is the chicken-fat blindspot. This is found in many standard premium kibbles. Here's a scenario that happens all the time. A dog has a sensitive stomach, so the owner switches to a premium kibble made with salmon or venison. They think they are avoiding chicken, but if you turn the bag around and read the ingredient list, you will often see chicken fat listed high up. Manufacturers spray chicken fat onto the kibble at the very end of the cooking process because it makes the food smell and taste irresistible to dogs. But here is the problem. If a dog has a chicken intolerance, that fat keeps their gut constantly inflamed. The immune system in the bowel reacts to the trace proteins in that fat, keeping the digestive tract irritated day after day, resulting in chronic diarrhea. Number 2 is the over-the-counter sensitive stomach kibble. You go to the pet store and buy a bag that specifically says hypoallergenic or sensitive stomach right on the front. It sounds safe, but here is what the label doesn't tell you. Pet food is manufactured in massive facilities on assembly lines. That sensitive kibble is often processed on the exact same machines that were just running a beef or chicken formula an hour earlier. Even though they clean the machines, there is cross-contamination. The kibble gets coated in microscopic residue of the very proteins you are trying to avoid. For a dog with a severe intolerance, even a tiny dusting of the wrong protein is enough to trigger a 3-day flare-up of explosive diarrhea. Number 3 is high-fat gourmet, air-dried, and raw foods. These foods are incredibly popular right now. They market themselves as the closest thing to a wolf's natural diet. But here is the biological reality. Many of these gourmet foods are extremely high in fat. A dog's digestive system is not designed to process massive amounts of fat all at once. High fat content triggers low-grade chronic pancreatitis, which is an inflammation of the pancreas. It also causes something called bile acid malabsorption. When there is too much fat in the intestines, the liver pumps out bile to digest it. If the gut cannot reabsorb that excess bile, it acts like a powerful laxative. This presents as chronic mucus-covered soft stools that owners mistake for a simple bug. Number 4 is heavy legume and pea fillers, commonly found in grain-free foods. Years ago, the pet industry convinced everyone that grains were bad, so companies replaced healthy rice and oats with massive amounts of peas, lentils, and chickpeas to hold the kibble together. Legumes are incredibly high in fiber and complex sugars. A healthy dog might handle this, but a sensitive dog's gut simply does not have the right enzymes to ferment these sugars properly. Instead of digesting, the legumes ferment in the stomach. This creates a massive amount of gas. It causes painful bloating, and it forces the body to flush water into the intestines to dilute the irritant. The result is severe chronic gas and liquid diarrhea. Number 5 is the vague meat meal brands. These are your grocery store brands that list ingredients like Animal Digest or Meat and Bone Meal. These sound like protein, but they are legally allowed to change their formula batch to batch depending on what rendering source is cheapest that week. One month, the meat meal might be mostly beef. The next month, it might be mostly pork or poultry. A dog's digestive system requires absolute consistency. Their gut bacteria adapt to the exact proteins they eat. When the formula secretly shifts from one batch of food to the next, the gut bacteria are caught off guard. That sudden shift in the rendering source triggers instant diarrhea, and owners are left confused because they didn't change the food. If you find this type of evidence-based, practical health information valuable, I encourage you to subscribe. Each video translates complex scientific research into practical information you can actually apply. No hype, no hidden agenda, just the science and what it means for your pet. Now, let's talk about the core concept of why your dog's diarrhea won't stop. This is the part that is often completely missed. If you take a dog with chronic diarrhea to the vet, they will often prescribe an antibiotic called metronidazole, also known as Flagyl, and like magic, the diarrhea stops. You think the problem is solved, but a week after the pills run out, the diarrhea comes right back. Why? Because metronidazole is a band-aid. It acts as a powerful anti-inflammatory in the gut. It forces the swelling down and kills off the bad bacteria, but it does absolutely nothing to fix the underlying trigger. If you keep feeding the dog the chicken fat, the legumes, or the high-fat gourmet food, the moment the drug leaves the system, the inflammation flares right back up. The fire was put out, but the arsonist is still in the house. Here is the second thing that is missed. Owners often ask their vet for a blood or saliva test to find out what their dog is allergic to. But here is the scientific truth. Blood and saliva allergy tests for food are highly unreliable in dogs. They often show false positives. What your dog likely has is not an allergy, but a food intolerance. An allergy causes itchy skin and hives. An intolerance is an inability to process a specific protein structure in the bowel. The immune system doesn't make antibodies against it. The gut simply cannot break it down. It is a mechanical and chemical failure in the intestines, not a systemic allergic reaction. So how do we fix it? We stop guessing and we follow the exact protocol recommended by veterinary internal medicine specialists. Step 1 is the elimination trial. You must switch your dog to a prescription hydrolyzed protein diet. Brands like Hill's Z/D, Royal Canin Hydrolyzed, or Purina HA. Here's the science behind why this works, explained simply. In these prescription diets, the animal proteins are chemically broken down or pre-digested into pieces so incredibly small that the dog's immune system and gut cannot visually recognize them as triggers. Think of it like taking a giant Lego castle and smashing it into individual dust particles. The inflamed bowel doesn't see the protein, so it stops reacting. This allows the intestinal lining to finally heal and stop leaking water. Step 2 is strict lockdown. This is where 90% of owners fail. For 8 to 12 weeks, your dog gets absolutely zero outside treats, zero table scraps, zero flavored medications, and zero dental chews. Nothing crosses their lips except the prescription diet and water. One single bite of a chicken-flavored treat or a piece of dropped cheese resets the clock back to day 1. The gut is so sensitive during this healing phase that even a microscopic trace of the wrong protein will trigger the inflammation all over again. You must be incredibly disciplined. Step 3 is rebuilding the microbiome with high-quality probiotics. Months or years of chronic diarrhea and antibiotics have destroyed the natural, healthy bacteria in your dog's gut. You need to rebuild it, but grocery store yogurt won't work. You need vet-strength microencapsulated strains like Purina Fortiflora or Proviable. Microencapsulation means the good bacteria is wrapped in a protective coating so it survives the harsh stomach acid and arrives alive in the intestines, where it can finally reestablish a healthy balance. So let us bring everything together. 5 types of food formulations keeping your dog sick, and 1 clear path to healing. Stop guessing. Stop switching randomly from brand to brand, and talk to your vet about a true, strict elimination diet. The solution is not in another bag of over-the-counter sensitive stomach food. It is in prescription science, strict discipline, and allowing the gut to finally heal. I have a question for you, and I genuinely want to hear your answer. How many different brands of dog food have you tried trying to fix this issue? Let me know in the comments below. And if there is a specific dog health topic you would like me to investigate in a future video, leave that in the comments as well. Before we wrap up, think about someone in your life who has a dog suffering from chronic stomach issues. Perhaps a neighbor, a family member, or a friend who is at their wit's end, cleaning up messes every single day. They do not know what you know now. You can change that in less than 10 seconds, simply by sharing this video with them. Not to frighten them, not to lecture them, simply to give them the same information that you now have, because they deserve the opportunity to help their pet heal just as much as you do. The research is real, the potential risks are real, and the solutions are remarkably simple. As always, I want to end with an important clarification. This video is for educational and informational purposes only and does not substitute for professional veterinary medical advice. The scientific evidence discussed in this presentation reflects findings published in peer-reviewed peer-reviewed medical literature available at the time this video was produced. Canine nutritional science continues to evolve, and recommendations may change as new evidence becomes available. I strongly encourage you to consult your own veterinarian before making significant changes to your dog's diet, particularly if your dog has an existing medical condition. The mission here is to translate complex scientific research into clear, practical, and evidence-based information, not to replace your vet, not to create unnecessary fear, but to ensure that the same science available to researchers is also available to you, because you and your dog deserve nothing less. If this video gave you hope, hit subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.